My name is Emily Osborne, and I am presenting on stress's impact on teachers' perception of their well-being. Why? What impacts teachers' well-being? Current teachers struggle with a variety of tasks, as any profession does. Basic research shares that teachers experience work-related stressors such as heavy workload, class size, student behavior, low pay, and lack of support from administrators or parents. Other issues can also include being underpaid and underappreciated. Each of these factors lead to higher levels of stress. Research has found that dealing with parents and a lack of resources are two of the biggest stress factors that teachers deal with. A research study from 2005 found that 40% of teachers experience stress caused by excessive workload and abusive parents. A more recent research study from 2021 found that 1 in 2 public school teachers experience high levels of stress throughout the school year. So you may be wondering, why is it important to understand stress's impact on teachers? It's important because stress impacts not only people's emotional well-being, but also their physical health and work performance. For example, stress can lead to higher rates of anxiety and depression. Physical symptoms can include headaches, cardiovascular disease, weight gain, and low productivity, which can have a negative impact on one's mental state, which can lead to poor work performance and impaired judgment. These show how interconnected all of these factors are. However, it is still important to consider the opposite reaction to stress, which is that people use their stress to fuel higher performance and become more organized. You can also consider the impacts of home life stress. However, this research study focuses on the impact of work-related stress. In conclusion, teachers experience a variety of work-related issues that may cause them to be extremely stressed. My research question is, how does stress, years in teaching, and administrator support impact teachers' perception of their well-being? The hypothesis states that stress, years in teaching, and administrator support are going to have a negative impact on teachers' perception of their well-being. As a future teacher, this research is important because I want myself and those around me to be supported mental health-wise. The participants were recruited based on convenience sampling through sending the survey out on social media. Participants were K-12 teachers in North Carolina with 1 or more years of experience. The participants remain anonymous and received no compensation for completing the survey. They were sent an online survey that consists of demographic questions and 3 scales. The demographic questions include age, ethnicity, gender, years in teaching, the county they teach in, the amount of students they teach, and perceived administrator support. Then the survey moves to the teacher stress inventory. This survey asks questions in categories such as time management, work-related stressors, professional distress, discipline and motivation, professional investments, and various manifestations. The participants can answer on a 1 to 5 scale, 1 being no strength and not noticeable, or 5 being major strength and extremely noticeable. The survey then moves to the teacher's subjective well-being questionnaire, which has 8 questions split into 2 groups of 4, asking about school connectedness and teacher efficacy scale. The questions were rated on a 4-point scale, where 1 was almost never and 4 was almost always. The final scale used was the teacher well-being scale, which is made up of 16 questions that were broken into groups such as workload well-being, organizational well-being, and student interaction well-being. Participants could answer on a 7-point scale, 1 being negatively and 7 being positively. As previously stated, the participants include K-12 teachers in North Carolina. I had 130 answers total, but 1 did not qualify, so that makes my total 129. As you can see on the table on the right, the majority of the participants were not minority status, as 90% of participants were white. The other participants were minority status, and they make up 9%. The average age of the participants was 39, with a range of 23 to 66. There was a high level of experience as well, with a range of 1 to 38 years, and typically people had around 13 years of experience. The independent variables, as you may remember from my hypothesis, include stress, years in teaching, and administrator support. The stress variable is measured with the teacher stress inventory. Administrator support is measured with the teacher well-being scale using the subscale organizational well-being. The dependent variable is measured with the teacher subjective well-being questionnaire. A stepwise linear regression was conducted to evaluate predictors of teacher well-being. The first step of the model included participant characteristics, age, minority status, and years of teaching. The model was not significant, so the second step added teacher stress and administrator support. The only significant unique predictor was administrator support. The predictors together predict teacher well-being. However, administrator support uniquely predicts teacher well-being. As you can see on the table, the beta values of age, minority status, and stress are negative variables, meaning they did not approach significance. Administrator support did approach significance, which is why there is a green check beside it. Oops. As you can see. However, something that surprised me was that experience did not have significance in this study, yet it is possible that it did not have the power to meet this prediction, which means that there could not have been enough samples or participants that responded to have that. Okay. Administrator support is significant, which means that it is going to predict teacher well-being. The higher the support for administrators, the higher the teacher's well-being is. Administrators who support their staff are likely to have healthier staff. Relationships are a huge part of human connections, which result in a stronger well-being. Teachers feel connected to their students, school, staff, and administrator. They're less likely to be stressed. Research has found that relationships and resources such as school connectedness, teacher autonomy, and teacher efficacy are important because they promote positive professional well-being and protect teachers. As previously mentioned, years in teaching did not meet significance, but it is possible that that was due to the limited sample size. Future research can collect a wider, more diverse range of teachers racially and experience-wise, which could lead to different results. Future research could also look specifically at the pandemic to see how it impacted teachers' levels of stress. Future researchers can base research before the pandemic and then after the pandemic to see exactly how the stress levels have changed. I think it would also be interesting to research coping strategies to see how to best support teachers. This could go along with specifically looking at administrator support to see exactly how administrators can support their staff. Moving forward, it is extremely important for new teachers and teachers in general to match with schools where they have strong, supportive administrators. And it is important for administrators to be aware of the impact that they have on teachers and try to not undervalue their own presence and support. They need to start listening to their teachers to ensure that teachers feel supported and can have better well-being. Limitations of this study do include the pandemic, because the pandemic could have possibly skewed my results because people can be more stressed out post-pandemic. People also could have misunderstood the questions, and administrator support can be difficult to measure because it is opinion-based. So I think finding a better way to measure that in future research could also be very interesting. And then here are my sources. And thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me anytime. Thank you.